Hey guys, back again for another bench update. So it's that time of the week again. It's been about a week, 10 days since my last one. So got a finished build again. So that's my 6th completion of the year, which I'm really happy about. So average about one a month, which is really good. That's about my usual pace. Not that many kind of like rush or any kind of time constraints. I think with being at home, working from home last few months now, it's definitely more time on the bench. Not saying that I've been on the bench when I should be working, but as many of you guys know who are working from home, it's kind of handy because throughout the day, if you need to do a quick clear coat or a quick wash or something, you can do that during the day, like lunchtime, whatever, and then because you're at home, and then a few hours later, you're good to go and get on to the next stage. So it really helps the modding process being more accessible to the bench, I guess. Like I said, I did the completed build, and that's the B17, which is from Airfix. It was a great kit. It went together flawlessly pretty much. Had some blending and some issues, which I'll talk about, but I think that's really just my user error rather than the kit itself. Really fantastic kit. And one thing about Airfix too is I didn't realize the boxes are really sturdy. I've got the empty box over here. I mean, so some manufacturers should take note of this. I mean, this thing is solid, so I was going to throw it away in recycling, but I was thinking to myself, well, now maybe I'll keep this box, and it might be handy to put in spare parts or some decals or something, because it's such a well-built box. So it's this guy, reminder of what I finished. Also, it's nice in Airfix too, is they do a really nice big color callouts as well, so it's really easy. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this one. A little bit different for me, doing something in World War II. I normally do kind of 90s and kind of modern stuff, but yeah, it was pretty cool. So let me swing the camera down and kind of show you the finished model.
So here is the completed Airfix 1/72 scale Boeing Fortress B-17 Mark III. And it's the RAF variant, obviously, and you've seen the color scheme. First of all, this kit was a really nice kit. Not built an Airfix kit for a while, well, a few years, but yeah, it went together really nicely. Pretty much a perfect fit. There's some issues with the wing roots, and the front here had some seams, lines that had to blend and take care of. I'm not sure if it's a kit. It's probably my own like user error. I think when I put the interior in, it maybe wasn't quite straight, so it kind of knocked it out a little bit. But overall, great kit. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. First time I've ever done a bomber before. Not done anything World War II for quite a few years. Mostly modern stuff I kind of work on, as you've seen on the channel. But yeah, nice change of pace. So I did get this Edward Big Sin set. Now, in hindsight, like I said, this is my first time I built a bomber, so I probably wouldn't, in this scale, I wouldn't bother with a lot of stuff. It's so small, you're not really going to see it. So in this kit, I didn't use everything. The engines, I just purely used the main inserts in the front with a detail. The resin parts, I didn't use the cowling. These are the kit cowlings and covers. They just come with PE wiring, that kind of stuff. It was just way too fiddly. It was so small and fiddly. It was, in this scale, it was just not worth it. I mean, it just wasn't worth my time and frustration. So I went with the engines. I did go with the superchargers on the bottom. I'll show you in a minute when I lift it upside down. You see the superchargers. They're really nicely detailed. And they just fit perfectly in there. But again, they're on the bottom of the aircraft, so you're not really going to see it. The next thing in the kit were the wheels. That's probably something you might want to get on the wheels if you built this model. Wheels and kit, a 2-part mold. And pretty basic kind of looking. These are quite nice, like upgrades, the main wheels. And finally, the 50 cal guns. I did not use those. These are the kit guns. As you can see, it's so small as well. I looked at the resin parts, and they're a little bit better, nicer. But I mean, for this tiny 72nd scale bomber, it's not really going to make much. When you look a couple of feet away, you're not going to notice the difference. And the amount of work it required to kind of do some assembly and get those in, it just wasn't worth my time. So I went with it, didn't go with that. So moving forward, if I ever do any of these kind of bombers again, I kind of know that I won't do, I probably won't go so crazy with the aftermarket. I'll probably just more build out the box. One thing is a no-brainer for me is a canopy mast set. All these windows, I bought the Edward mast set, it was only a few bucks, and it was fit perfectly, and it was really easy to use. So there's no way I could mask up these tiny little windows all by myself. It took me literally hours or weeks to do it. So the mask set's real easy. Just stick the mask on, cut perfectly, and you get a perfect line every time. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I did mention also I actually riveted the whole aircraft. I was kind of worried, as I think I mentioned in previous videos, but you wouldn't be able to see the rivets. So I went from the 0.5 to 0.65 millimeter rivets, which is more of a 48 scale. But this aircraft's a big aircraft, and it's riveted all over. So I riveted the whole aircraft. Didn't care too much about, getting exact position. I just kind of looked on where they went roughly and kind of just ran a rosy riveter across. for the whole build, you couldn't really see them at all until the very end. Very end, when I put the clear coat on, and the decals went on and stuff, you could finally, in the wash, you could finally see them. So especially on the tail, they're really, I think on the black parts, they're really prominent. On the camo green and earth parts, it's not quite so easy to see them, but if you look in the right light, you can just catch the rivets. But it's definitely, I'm glad I did them in the end. It took a few hours work, but it definitely has that detail, which I really like. So paint-wise, I used Attacker, their World War II paint set for the camo, which is the usual dark green and dark earth. The black is what I think I did use Tamiya rubber black. I used the LP, not the lacquer, not the acrylic one. So I painted all rubber black, and then in the end, I just went through, got some NATO black, acrylic NATO black, and just picked out certain areas and center panels, just kind of creating tonal variation. Also on the camo, I did paint the camo just usual colors, and then I thought, let's add a little bit more to it. So I did go back and add a little bit lighter colors and faded some of the camo and just kind of subtle weathered it in a little bit. That's pretty much it. Weathering wise, as my usual kind of thing, I used Flory dark dirt wash for the camo part areas, which worked really good. I did put it on the black areas, but you just didn't really see it, so I actually used grey. So I used Flory grey wash on the panel on the black areas. And then I put a matte coat over that to seal it in, and then I went with neat oils. So I went with smoke for the camo colors. So smoke on top of here, a little bit of dark faded yellow here and there for some hydraulic leaks in certain areas. And on the black, I went with 502 neutral gray for the black areas, just again so you can see it. That's probably really it. The only other thing is I did want to add some kind of staining coming back from the prop staining coming back on the wings. You always see, like, I want to make it subtle. I didn't want to kind of do it too. Some people do it like with dark black and stuff. I want it kind of more of a subtle kind of light kind of streaking. So I tried various things. I tried Tamiya smoke. I tried Alclad sepia. They weren't kind of really doing it for me. So in the end, I used Alclad jet exhaust nozzle, jet exhaust color, and I just very lightly with the airbrush sprayed a couple of streaks behind each engine just to give it that kind of look. But yeah, overall really happy how it turned out. It's it's really big actually. The wingspan is huge, as you can see here on the barely fit into the camera. I know when I first opened this kit up, and I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, it looked kind of small for 72nd scale. The fuselage is relatively small, but the actual wingspan makes up for that. It's a big beast. So those guys right now building the 48 scale Hong Kong model ones, that's going to be huge. Or even the 32nd scale ones, they're gonna be massive. So nothing to note too with this. I did kind of paint the interior and stuff, but I just did a quick wash and did no real kind of super detail on this. It just, you don't really see anything inside, so it's kind of pointless on this. You look more on the outside. The camera and stuff is where your eyes kind of drawn to. So I did some weathering on the outside, but the inside is you don't see any. So it's not really worth wasting your time doing, painting on a lot of dials and stuff and the radios and everything, because you don't see any of it. So let me kind of move it around a little bit. You see a different angle. So this kit does come in two flavors. It comes in this RAF variant, which is basically the B17G, and then they do the actual American version too, which I think you can do in either natural metal finish or the olive drab color. I'm still not really that experienced with doing any natural metal finishes, so I just kind of went the easy route and kind of went with the camo and the black. Also, being British, I always like doing RAF subjects as well, so yeah. The only thing here, even though this is this is hard to get in accurately, this window, it's supposed to sit up a little bit like that, but it's not quite in properly. So I'm worried if I push it, it's going to fall right through. So I'm just going to find a way it is. And if you can see the underneath, it's going to be hard to kind of show you this on the camera. You can't see where I used the grey power line wash and the grey oils for the black to give that kind of faded look. Again, it's kind of hard to see, it's so big. It's kind of hard to handle too, all these little like guns and stuff sticking out and antennas. It's kind of hard to manage, but so there it is. So yeah, so that's my finished model. Another one built, another 72nd scale kit. So yep, that one's all finished now off the bench. My Rifle Firefly, I'll just pull over real quick. I've done nothing on it since my last video. Just reach across and grab it. So no change. So you see paintwork's on. I've started some streaking on the side to pin wash. Decals are obviously on. Where I'm at with this is the track. I'm waiting for some paint for the tracks. So once the tracks are painted, I get them on, and then to carry on some more weathering, some more oils and stuff, and really weather this up. It obviously right now has a satin coat for some washes and stuff, but it will be dead matte once it's fully finished. Yeah, so that's kind of a project on the side. I've got a few little tools to paint up, the gun, the 50 cal, and I said the tracks, and then, but yeah, pretty much assembly is pretty much complete on this guy. Fantastic kit, went together perfectly well, no issues at all. Yeah, really nice. A lot of photo etch. I used some of it, but a lot of it I just left off, the stuff you're not going to see. Right, so that's really my builds for the last week or two. So let me switch the camera back and talk about some stuff I got in the mail, purchases. So let me switch the camera real quick. Wait, back again. I forgot to tell you about the Clever Putty. I stopped the video and remembered I forgot to talk about it. So this is what I use for the camo. I've had this for years. I've not used it in years, to be honest with you, because everything I've done recently has been solid straight lines, or like splinter camo, or a like just plain schemes. I've not really done any kind of curvy camo schemes in years for some reason. So this is the first one. So I kind of forgot about this stuff, but it's really cool. Get it from Amazon. I think 8K do have exactly the same stuff with their logo on, rebranded, and obviously a lot higher price, but Clever Putty. So basically, this stuff, you can see it's kind of really kind of like rubbery texture. So this works better and quicker than doing the old like white tack like worms and like masking it off. So literally just get like a piece, I just kind of blend it to, get it on the aircraft, blend it to whatever shape I need. It kind of self-levels a little bit, so you kind of just bend it and just drag it to where you want it, you know, whatever pattern, and you can add stuff to it, whatever, and you just basically put it down onto your model and just manipulate with your finger like that to whatever camo lines you want, and then that's it. It'll stay there. You spray it, and then I left it about 5-10 minutes after spray the paint, and then it just comes right off in one piece. Really good stuff. I wouldn't leave it overnight or anything. I think it might leave some kind of residue, or maybe possibly some like oily stuff possibly on the kit. But for 5-10 minutes, it's fine. I don't have any issues at all. So it's only the second time I used it. I used it on Hurricane years ago, but it's really cool stuff. So I thought I'd share that with you. So masking camo Clever Putty, and it's quite interesting stuff because you put it in a tin and then put the lid on, and an hour later it self-levels. It's fully flat, like smooth flat in the tin. You have to peel it out again. So it's, yeah, interesting stuff. So again, this is Clever Putty, and that's what I use for masking my camo stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about some stuff I got in the mail. Most of it just arrived in package actually today. Seems like these videos kind of time pretty much as I finish models and get stuff in the mail. It kind of syncs pretty good. So let me talk about what I got. I've got some pretty cool stuff. Some small things too. So first thing to show you guys is this, and that is the 2 Bobs decals of the Navy Centennial of the Growler and the Prowler. This was on the clearance. It was like, I think $9 shipped straight from two Bobs. One of the reasons I got this was, well, firstly, I like both the schemes. They're pretty cool, and I like both aircraft. But I do have this guy from the Shelf of Doom, which I built about a year ago. It's been sat in my cupboard there. It's not been worked on it because I'm really happy the way it went built. You can see I took one of the canopy masks off. It built, weathered, painted really good, and then, well, I didn't wear it, but I mean just kind of shading. But when I got to the decals with the kinetic kit, the decals just cracked on me, and they, like, especially on the tail here, and they just cracked. So what I can do, I can kind of revive this one now. It's 90, like I say, it's pretty much built apart from the undercarriage. It's 99% built. So what I can do is I can take the decals off, take some, and then just maybe just paint. Actually, just paint over it. So I'll paint over it with the Centennial colors, and I have the decals ready to go and redo it. yeah, this was a great kit actually. I do love this aircraft. I was up close and personal in Saudi Arabia back in early 2000s when I was in the Air Force. Yeah, I really like these ones, and just the 4 seats. I just like it better than the Intruder for some reason. But yeah, the funny thing is, as you see a lot online, a lot of people do videos and internet, and especially in the modeling world, and they say how things are unbuildable, and and think kits are terrible. There's one guy right now building this prominent guy online, and he says he's been spending weeks sanding and filling it, and it's a terrible kit. He's going to throw it away and all that kind of stuff. It just takes a lot of time. I got 0 seam lines on mine. Maybe you got a bad one or something, but it's the same kit, and beautiful. Worked together great. The only thing I forgot was I thought I'd be smart and paint the exhaust nozzles kind of separately and add them in at the end. So I kind of buckled this whole thing together, a little bit of super glue and stuff. It really got solid, and then I realized you couldn't put the exhaust nozzles in afterwards. They had to be in before you put the thing together. So I was going to leave it off, but maybe I can just kind of cut them off, cut some tube up and stick them in or something. Another thing is, in my haste, I forgot to tint part of the canopy at the front. So it's not a big one, but other than that, this is a kit. I love this kit. It was really good. Again, I don't read too much on what people say online. A lot of kits, especially mainline manufacturers in the last 10-15 years, they're all well manufactured. Take your time, they all go together well. Don't get me wrong, there are dogs out there. Even Tamiya, like with the Sea Harrier, they have the very old A10. They have some old kits that not quite so good, but generally nowadays, all these kits do go together. And it's a 48 scale kinetic one. And yeah, again, don't read too much what you hear people online. Most stuff, including myself, is just user error, like not lining stuff up properly, or not sanding down, or not worrying about paint tolerances, that kind of stuff. So just take your time and dry fit, and you'll be good. Any of these mainstream companies. So that's the first one. Next up, I got a book. And I saw somebody else online with this book, so I copied it. They paid very cheap, and I went and looked on Amazon.com, and it was like with Prime, it was like $4, $4.50 or something shipped. So it was no brainer. I love my books, and more importantly, I like books with pictures. I'm a picture guy, and if I just I haven't looked through it yet. I just opened a couple of pages, but the page I did open it on was one of my favorite aircraft, the big one. And so this book's cool because, like I say, I like pictures. There's not really much. There's a few stats and stuff in here, but there's other books for that kind of stuff. But really, every page is really big, like glossy pictures. I mean, all these great like modern fighter jet, well, modern probably from like 80s onwards. But isn't that cool book? And that's the Military Jets Aircraft Guide from 1939 to present day. So okay, so maybe there's some old stuff in here too. Then I guess all jets. And it's Chartwell Books Inc. And the editor's David Donald. Let's see an author, but if I hold this the ISBN up, maybe if you guys are interested, maybe catch that if you can see it. Yep. You can pause it and you can look at that. But yeah, this is a really cool book. Again, it's like less than $5 shipped from Amazon for a beautiful book with these pictures. Oh look, there's an Intruder. Just talking about the Intruder and Prowler. Yeah, so just share that with you. So yeah, I like my books, and yes, like I say, pictures. So awesome. So it's a cool little book. Next up, I got some exhaust nozzles for a Tornado. Now you're thinking, oh, you got those last time. Yeah, I got 48 scale last time. These are the 32nd ones. So I do have the 32nd scale Tornado up there. And this completes my kind of want list of aftermarket. I've pretty much got that fully stocked now. I got the resin cockpit. I've got some photo etch. Now they've got the exhaust. I got the mask, got the metal pitot tube. So I'm ready to go. So I did buy a year or two ago the latest one, the Revell, the desert version, the GR1 desert version. Bought that version because the other ones were kind of sold out. But my favorite, I really want to do it in kind of the wraparound, kind of like the 80s camo, like German, like wraparound, like RAF Germany camo kind of colors. So about a year ago, I kindly found somebody online on one of the forums, and he had that kit, and he switched the decals on me. So it's the same kit, just different decals. So I got the camo. I can't remember the squadrons, but I got camo decals from him, and I sent him my desert pink, like Foxy Killer, I think it was, those decals. So now I can do that big, like, beautiful Tornado in those camo markings. So yep. So again, this is the resin exhaust nozzles, and that really kind of completes my collection of stuff I need for that build. Next up are a couple of paints. As you've mentioned recently, if you can see it over my shoulder here, the Firefly, I've been kind of stalled on that a little bit because of the tracks. Finally got the paint I need for the tracks. and that's going to be Tamiya lacquer paints. You can't get them in the US, so I get them from the UK and shipped in with my order of other stuff. Not very expensive at all. So LP61 metallic grey, and mix a little bit brown, touch of brown, which is LP17. So that with a little drop of brown will make my track color. So now I can get the tracks going on that one, and that one finished too. So no one off my bench. Next up, lastly, a couple of kits. This guy, another vegan. Just talked about the vegan. This one's in a beautiful kind of scheme. I don't know what that is, like a wolf or something in the back. So I have all the 72nd scale special hobby vegans now. This is the 4th one. So as you know, I recently built the leaf camo, the splinter camo version, the AJ37, I think that one is. And I have, looking over my stash, I have the JA37 kit, which is really nice, the grey one with the red tail. And I also have the 2-pack, which I built the vegan out of, the one I built already, and then also has a 2-seater, the natural metal finish 2-seater version in there too, which is the SK37, I think. So I have all 4 kits. This just arrived in today, and unfortunately, I just really opened the box real quick. Whenever I get kits, I always just open the box, take a quick glance, make sure there's no damage, no broken canopies, that kind of stuff, before it goes in the stash. And unfortunately with this one, no instructions. Not the end of the world. Like I say, I've got 3 more of these kits, so I can just, your instructions will be pretty much the same, just a couple of parts different. Also probably on scale mates, I probably have the instructions. If not, I'll just email Special Hobby and get them to send me a PDF. It's not the end of the world, but I would need instructions actually for stencil markings and stuff, I guess. But I really like that scheme. It's just something a little unusual, something that looks eye-catching, and again, vegan. I do love my vegans, so I got that guy. Now, finally, I got something pretty special. It's my birthday coming up at the end of May, and I got a little bit of tradition to myself. I buy myself a birthday present, and last few years I bought myself a 32nd scale Tamiya kit. Last year it was the P51 Mustang, which is still my stash. I got the Spitfire also, and last year I built, the only one I built is the Corsair, the F4. So before I show you, let me talk a little bit about it. So I think a lot of people are fearful of the 32nd scale Tamiya kits. They're pretty expensive, beautiful kits, and people think they need to be a good standard. But to be honest, I think a beginner could put them together. They go together so well. The engineering's amazing. They just slot together. The plastic qualities, the detail, out of the box are just really great kits. I think the only thing is, as long as you can paint, like put a coat of paint down from an airbrush without, you know, flooding it or that kind of thing. As long as your painting's okay and you get like decent, hand paint, decent detail in the cockpit, that kind of stuff, I think anybody should give them a go. They're a great experience to work through, and beautiful kits. So that being said, I got this one for this year. Yep, and supposedly this is the greatest 32nd scale modern jet kit out there. You don't really need to add anything to this out of the box. It comes with everything. It has, it even has like removable flight tags included, has a mask, the weapon's supposed to be beautiful, has the engine that comes out, a dolly for the engine. So yeah, I'm not a huge F-16 fan, huge. I find it a little bland. I'm more into like the F-18s and maybe the F-14s, but everybody said how great kit this is, so I'm going to get going with this one. So my plan is get that Firefly off the bench, just needs the tracks doing and some more weathering, a couple more hours work, and then I'm going to get cracking on this one. I'm not sure I'm going to do it all one go, but I'm definitely going to break it down subsections. So my first plan is maybe do a dolly for the engine, maybe the engine, and break down to like almost little models and ordnance. So I've tackle each area kind of individually, separate models basically, and build it up. I am going to there's tons of aftermarket decals and stuff for it, but as long as the Tamiya ones aren't too thick and look okay, I'm actually going to keep the box one, but it's included, and that is the one from Iraqi Freedom, the 20th Fighter Wing, 72nd Fighter Squadron from Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina, the Gamblers. I think just because my Iraqi Freedom was the time I was in the Air Force, and I've done a few of the, you can't really see my thing, but I've done a few of the 48 scale Tamiya before in various kind of commemorative schemes and stuff. So I just want to stick to a basic one for this one. The basic, no half glass or anything, just a basic grey scheme, iconic grey, and from the Iraqi Freedom kind of time period, which is, I think it's 2002 maybe. So yeah, so it's light ghost grey, gunship grey, and medium grey. So yeah, so I'm kind of excited about this. So I got the kit, don't really need to add much to it. As always, It's a default for me. I get like resin seat, so I got the Aries resin seat, which I don't know if I'll use or not. It does come with a pilot figure, I believe, so I might even just, well, there's two things. I might do this one with a pilot sat in it. I might do it, my plan is to do it like, I don't know, I was thinking about doing part of the engine out, but the engine out, the pilot's not going to be sat in the seat, so I'll figure it out one way or the other, but I'm definitely probably split the engine out, and then, like I say, I got the resin seat right here, which looks beautiful, although kind of weird colored resin. They're normally grayer, but seat. And then one last thing I got for this too is just probably because I saw it and I thought it's kind of something unusual, and I've seen these before and I thought that's kind of cool. I don't know if this Edouard set it's marked for this kit, the F-16, but I think you can really use it for any kind of 32nd scale American jet, because what this is an etched stencil data mast set. So what basically is the no walk, the no step, the walkway, all those little decals you put on the wings and stuff. They're basically like templates made out of brass etch. So you just put it down. So no step, you just put it down on the flap, spray it, and then so you're spraying all the stencils. You're not actually painting. You're not actually using decals. Like close, you can kind of see. Now, I'm not sure where you get so many of each one, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get 10 walkway ones. So I guess you can maybe just line them all out and paint them all at once. But alternatively, you can just use one, I guess, and just move it around and paint as you go. If you're using lacquer paint, it's going to dry almost instantly anyway. So, yeah, some cool like little like toe hook marks, walkway, lift here, no step. So yeah, I've never used anything like that. And I thought that might be cool. Kind of just paint the masks on, and then with the weathering and stuff, it's going to look pretty cool, especially in 32nd scale. And like I said, I think this is pretty much generic. I think you can use this on any really 32nd scale modern jet probably. And that is it. So a lot going on there. Really excited about this guy. Normally these 32nd scale kits, I just put in my stash and frightened to ever use them, but I'm kind of happy where I'm going right now. I've built some pretty nice kits recently. I'm on a good flow. And knowing this is Tamir and knowing this kit, it's just going to fall together. Well, I hope I haven't jinxed it, but hopefully no sanding and blending and bunch of dust and resin, aftermarket, and all this kind of other than the seat. It's just a straightforward out-the-box build with a beautiful kit. So yeah, excited about this one. And also 32nd scale, it's not going to be huge. The F-16 isn't a big jet. It's probably, the wingspan's probably less than the 72nd scale B-17 I just built. It's a pretty compact fighter, so it's not going to take a huge space up. It's not like a F-14 or anything. And yeah, let's look at the box here again. See where the engine comes out. See. And there you go. So that's my update. So again, as always, recently been pretty busy, doing a bunch of model time, getting a bunch of stuff done, and really enjoying the hobby. So hope you guys are staying safe out there. Hope you guys are also enjoying your hobby, and got plenty of stuff working on. And I'll catch you next time. So hopefully next time I'll have a little bit of this guy done, and also the Firefly built. So catch if you like the video, please thumbs up, subscribe, all the usual kind of stuff, and I'll catch you again next time. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.